I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to TT Review. Today is April 20th, 2026. Hope you had a good weekend, good day. 420, right? So we've been talking about a couple things here. So as I've been mentioning, we about want to fan up, do higher highs and higher lows up until around the 27,000 big figure number, which we kind of did that on Friday. But I don't think we're kind of done to the top side right now before we do this pullback, because seasonality, this pullback that I've been talking about, happens in May. Now, I'm not saying it's going to come this deep. I'm just trying to give the narrative here. Coming up and taking out the all-time highs was obviously the gist, right? So, and then we got this pretty much like, so we're here, right? We're here. And then we don't know if we're going to keep coming down or not. But, and then I also, if you got to watch that Friday video, I also talked about a couple things. Also talked about, oh, well, I will have preferred or liked it to come back down, for the sell off for the week, because we have already expanded really high. What was last week? Last week was 1,980 points. So, pretty overextended. So coming back to this 50 on that grid, that rollover grid that I invented. Again, I don't know if anyone else on Earth has invented this yet or not. And I don't know if someone has put it in their community and teaches it. I don't know. I've never seen it and I've never heard anyone talk about it. I don't know if anyone's going to come out with a book with it, and put it in their published books or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't care. All I know is I've already published this. April 13th and 14th is when I first came out with it, and I'm still talking about it. But on this rollover grid, so I talked about coming to this 50%, because on that macro level, that 50% is a dark red right there. Coming here and then inside, and then also I also talked about, and I still left it on the chart just for you. I put a 10% here. 20, this is already 20 to 40%, and then in the middle is 30. So 10, 20, 30, 40%. Here's the last weekly range. What did they do? They fucking gapped down. I told y'all. I mean, I know we're gonna come in here, but look how they did it. They kept the price up, and then they fucking dipped it. They gapped down into that 10 to 20%. So essentially, yeah. Anyways, so why am I saying all that? Because that's what they do. And also, you can see I have this green line, this light green line. That's that swing high. This green line, which is that swing high. I'm gonna actually delete this one right now, just for clarity's sake. Why do I still have that dragged out? Because it's a breakout area. So when we pushed right through that area, that swing high, which is obviously January's high and January 28th, right? So that's a monthly high as well. So I'm dragging it out, and they gapped right down into it. It's a breakout area. So you have liquidity and balance and breakout area. They just dropped right into it. So I just got out of this trade here. I bought it here, got out right here, actually. And I could have held it, because I do want to come and seal this and make a new high, and sweep that previous week's high. But again, with this shit here, I don't know how is it going to work. When it dipped down, I understanding. I mean, reversion is at minimum, or I'm generally speaking, we're bullish. So anyway, look how they gap down. Where they gap down? Well, remember Friday I talked about I wanted to sell. So I sold here. Remember that big figure, and then I sold it down into here, and then I say, okay, well, I would have liked for it to dip more down into that 10-20%, and we never got that. Look how they fucking got down into it. Fucking shady, right? What is this? Higher highs and higher lows, easy run liquidity. And then they know, right? So what they do? I already got this circled. This is and it's in blue. So I didn't expect to get it Friday. And then you can see the 930 level from the opening range gap of last Friday, and then coming into here, and then this is the next range area because of that swing high I just talked about, the 50% and so on. And encompassing, some liquidity right here, right here. So see that? Look how we gapped right to that motherfucker. So you can't make that up, right? So that's a logic. And when they do that, that might possibly be a higher low. But guess what? They know. See when it comes up and does this equal low shit, like you don't know. Like these guys, the pre-London takes out, or Asia takes out that low, right? And then they make these higher lows, and it didn't have to come back down. It didn't. But Was it likely? More possibly. Why? Because of the fact that, yeah, they're scamming it. It's at the top. They know we're buying. Dude, this, you knew we were buying here. Like, before we take out that all-time high, just like if it's a 1 minute chart, bro, you know we're buying here. So that's what that is. And then when it dips down, you got all these people who are crackheads, trade in Asia, which I'm not saying you can't be profitable trading in Asia, but why would you want to trade Asia? But in a situation like this, you could catch a buy here because you understand that to the left of the chart, you got into the opening range gap, right? And then shoots up, and then it needs to come and seal most of it. So that buying taking place is creating these higher lows. And at 9:30, could it have went through? Yeah, but the 9:30 candle said it all. So I'm gonna get into the video now. Fuck, man, there's so much to say, but to keep it simple, these higher lows were probably going to get rated only because of the fact that, every successful person trading Asia, knowing that it gapped down and knowing that we're bullish, is buying this. So they really got to shake them off. And then being in the macro situation also, there's no rush, but you would expect some type of speaker and shakeout. So in this case, it's kind of like that, right? So highs, comes out for the lows. Don't take that guy out. If you put this wick, if you go 50%, you look to the right, it's hitting 50% exactly. So it's not closing lower and all that. And then it, reversal swing candle pattern. You can see that on the 5 minute as well, which is really nice. And then coming back into the range. So let's get back into it. So look, what do they do at 9:30? So you can see at 9:30 right away, the opening range gap is here. So you're in a discount and gap down. So there's two signs of, coming down, but when we push all the way up and we missed the top 75% on purpose. And then you see the wick right there, right? This is not hard to see, right? So you see that wick and they miss it and it closes like that. So this to me is like a pump dump, where it's like it's going to pump first, and then when it dumps, it's coming for that liquidity, and you have turns into a sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, right? Till you expand, cascade down, getting into that same area I talked about, because people are making decisions based off of this, right? So there's time-based levels. That is a time-based level. It was a swing of January high. Right, a high, the month of April of fucking January's high. So that's a time-based level, okay? Specifically, that's why I still drag it out, because I understand that someone's pushing by as soon as it goes through. Momentum traders, they try to sweep them. They know that this is the same level, so they're buying it again. Like, okay, motherfucker, we'll buy it again, and then it comes back in, right? So, that's a logic, and then. This was fairly difficult if you were really bullish and trying to buy from here. I understand that. And then, but the order flow then turns into, you got to mark your chart. So, let me see so I don't veer off. I have the Friday's first imbalance here, and I have it dragged out all the way. And I know we're going to reference that because when we're coming back into the range from Friday, today's Monday, obviously, we're going to come back in, and where are we going to go? Well, even if you look at the where's the fucking low? Yeah, the low's here. And the high of Friday. So automatically, I'm just going to hold on a second. I'm just going to get a blind fib here. Not a blind fib. I don't know what that means really, but I'm just going to highlight that. You see this. So we're coming back into that Friday's range. I'm going to make it stupid big. Okay. So we're coming into, look where the 50% is laying on. Okay. So this is not by accident, because when we make that candle, we expect to come back in. That's why I have the weekly, that retracement of 10 to 20% was just something at minimum I'm looking for, right? Notice we still didn't hit the 20%. And they know that, bro. They know this stuff, but that range, they're automatically referencing that 50%, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to draw here. And that's why I'm also buying it here. I'm not saying this is going to hold. I've already got out of the trade, so it doesn't fucking matter to me. But that's a logical play. So let me go back in here. So I have that, and then I have and when I projected this low to swing, you can see the negative 25 and all that. That doesn't matter here right now. And then I projected this right here. So So you have a sweep, you have a break that's a lower high we made in Friday. So I said, is that going to keep pushing through or gap up, or are we going to crack down? And it's what they did. Why? Because this was easy late buyers. That's it. There's nothing else anyone can say. I don't give a fuck what macro situation that the people are talking about on the internet. It doesn't matter. That's exactly what they did it for, bro. 2 to 2.5 is right here, and the 50%. And look to your right here. You can see where to the right on the 1 minute, you can see where I bought right there, because it's hitting the 50%. It's hitting this breakout level I just told you about, and we're coming outside the gap. Okay, so we have that in play, and also we have some other stuff here under fire. The opening range gap, as you see, I already showed you on Friday. You can see it's hitting that 50%. That's why I take this buy right here. And then let me see. And then you can see the bodies, specifically just talking about this buy here. You can see the bodies. Look at the 1 minute stopping right there. And then as soon as this candle, which is the 11:08, which we have the 11 o'clock hour candle, I expect it to go back up because it just sold off hard. I expect it to squeeze sellers on that 1 hour. Look at the body sitting right on top of that 50% on a 1 minute. And then as soon as it crosses the previous candle's open, which is going to be the 11:07, I'm pushing buy immediately. That's a change of delivery in itself. And when you had the cascade of where am I at? When you had the cascade of fallen candles like this, every time I get squeezed out when I'm trailing my stop here, if I'm selling, boom, you get a boner candle. You get a bullish engulfing. And as soon as it crosses over, I'm buying. So my entry is literally there. Now, comes back in and then pushes back and hits in that imbalance right there. We're just outside the current gap. Okay, all these things I just said here with that opening range gap and then that breakout level. And here's the bonus. Here's the bonus. Oh, so I talked about coming into that 50% when I was talking about this here. When I was talking about, I wanted to go into that 50% to sell back down into the range. What's after that? You have the 16th, and then you have this 25, right? So if you take a look at it, this is my chart. No one else on earth will show you this chart. We gap right down through the 50, opened right here, and then shot down. Didn't hit that on purpose, didn't hit it perfect on purpose. All right, and then snap back, comes up. So these are quadrant levels, 25, 50, 25, eighth, 25. So eighth, sorry, the blue. And in between those levels is a red level here that I got it quadrant, which is a 16th. And in between the 16th is a 32. Okay, so pay attention. So, and I have it because A, it's very accurate. B, it's just a big range. So you dissect it a little bit. So you can see coming up 16th. I'm sorry, 32. Almost 32. So 50. Look at the 50. Look how we play around that 50 today, right? Come to the 16th. Play out. Oh, it's not by accident. Hit the 16th. I'm sorry, 32. Why do I hit the 32 perfectly right there? Trying to get that guy. They create the structure above it, so then they can come and hit it perfectly, right? Then they come through, hit the 16th right here. Body sitting there, playing around. Come right back to the 50 and then short of it, okay? Comes up, watch this. All right. Comes to the 16th, 32, 16 playing around. All right. Shoots up. Now it's 9:30. 9:30. Oh, 16. What are they doing to the left? That's a breakout guy. See that? So, I mean, if you put a sell stop here, that's fine. Triggered them in. Or if the people are buying here, they're coming back up to mitigate this area because that is a mitigation area. If someone pushed by here and then the fucking price opens here, they're underwater. They have to give them a chance to get out. Why didn't they seal it? Because they don't give a fuck about that guy and that guy. Perfectly. They saved this guy right here, right? Almost hit this guy. You follow my point, but what is it algorithmically doing? You're telling me that I bought it to this area and sold it on that quadrant, on that major quadrant. Bro, don't stop playing with me. That's not possible. Okay? Not possible. Okay? Not possible. Look. 878.5. Go watch Friday's video if you didn't watch it. Very clear. And then getting to that quadrant. So in between is the 16th here. So you're telling me that we sold from there and then we came up to this 16th today? You're crazy. So came up 930. That's why this is a possible sell. Even though the opening range gap is here, you have all this confluence here of the other things. And you're like, dude, which one is it, man? You got the technicals that you've been teaching. You have the opening range gaps, the previous ones that you've been teaching. And then you have this new grid that you've been teaching. And it's just like, well, which one are you following? And it's like, listen, I understand they're running off of those three things, right? It's not perfect, but they are navigating on higher time frames to lower time frames in these scenarios. How can they respect and touch all these quadrants? And it's just like, yeah. Well, it's crazy for me too. That's why people minimize all that education and then just trade simply with just buying a trend up, or this trend down. These are lower highs forming, okay, and it's selling off to take that liquidity. All right, and then once it reverses with a candle like that, this is a 5 minute right here too, so you can see the 5 minute, see that candle reversal, and then the candle 3 expands. So that's a nice swing. Where is that happening? It's happening on the 16th of my grid, of the rollover grid. Okay, I'm gonna call it ROG, rollover grid. Okay, so not a coincidence. So you have that, and then if you go back into where was it? Here, the opening range gap, there's the 50. So you have the 50 on the opening range gap. You have the 16th, all right, goes below it. Oh, what is that in between? What's in between a 16th and a 32? Does it look like it's just floating on an algorithmic level? You're like, well, is it? I'm on the wrong thing here. Oh my God. Oh, what you think that is? Huh? What do you think that is? What do you think that is? So 16th, 32. What's 32 plus 32? 64. Boom. Oh. My grid is better than fucking anything else, huh? Pretty fire. I'm going to leave that guy right there. Okay? That's why I bought this here. Okay? If you don't believe me, I'll show you. Just so we're clear. I told you about the entry method right there. See that? See the entry method? Entry method right there? I have all that confluence about what I just talked about. And then I squeezed it up. Well, I'm trying to get up here. Doesn't look like it's going to happen today. I wanted to see the power hour do it, and we never did it. I don't give a fuck what they do. What's the point? Buying it right back into the easy sellers here. Why is that? Why? Because it was easy sellers. So when you have this you have a structure here. You have a high. Okay, sorry. Higher low. Higher high. Higher low. Higher high rejects with the wick, and it's weak. And with knowing the 16th that I had told you about on the rollover grid, we shoot down hard. That's a break. That's a low. That's a lower low. Shoots all the way back up. Let me get into the video, actually, because I haven't even started the video. Jesus, there's no way. Right? We swing all the way back up for a lower high. Now you're at 50% of the current opening range gap. And then also, if you take a look here, you'll see, boom, look at the body stopping on the 8th here, wicking right above it, underneath the 50, and then coming back down, right, leaving it. But what's also very key here is that if you grade this wick here, all right, if you grade this wick, is it hard to see? Because this freaking purple, huh? Shouldn't it be brighter? Can I? Is that helping? I don't know. Anyways, you can see here the 50% of that wick. See the wick? That's a reversal wick. That's a big pin bar, right? So that, I mean, that just, it frames the day almost. And then the structure here, right? So you get the break here, right? So if you didn't see it, you're like, oh, I see it now, bro. Obviously, it's after the fact. Okay. Break, lower high, lower, two lower low, lower low, lower high. Does it keep going? No, no, it goes down. See that? Right? You see that shit? Okay, very clear. All right, but that's what the point is that look at the bodies. If the bodies can't close above that 50% of this wick, this is the whole point of me telling you all this. That means it's bearish. And for it missing that top quarter, okay, that's also bearish. And not hitting the 25%, also more bearish. And then no body here, also bearish. When we come back up and we're underneath that wick and can't have a body above 50%, bearish. Okay, if you don't know, that's fine. Still, if you don't know what's going on, that's fine. Right? So you look to the left here, you got a breakout area. You got the current week gap quadded here. Here's 50%. So it comes down, bink, hits the 50% of this current gap. Okay, retraces back, gets in the bottom quarter, or the bottom 25%, with only bodies inside here. Okay, that's a huge sign that it's in a bearish world. This is what you would want to see. Not bearish world forever. I'm saying just like if it's going to be selling off, you would prefer to see no more it not come any higher. It would have to stop here. Yeah, it's a bull face candle, but it's you have also. Oh, I didn't even get into the video. So I use this as the first imbalance today because it's a 931 candle. Now, can you use some will use this candle here, this 933, and then some will use this 938. The 938 is obviously a lot more stronger, bigger, but at the same time, so is 931. And we do have previous price action to the left, but because it's all-time highs, it's whatever. It's in a way semantics, but the point is that I'm using this one, and because if you look, candle 1, that's the big stupid rejection. Candle 2 is the imbalance. Candle 3 is this one, right? So if you take a look at it, I'm using this because it's a good size. We do take out liquidity with it, and then it's outside the gap. And then when we come up, remember, yeah, it took out candle 2, but where's candle 3? That's the high. So that is a bearish imbalance. You're in a bearish imbalance in this price action. We do that again here. We make a low, 2 lows, and then we come back up. Here's this next imbalance. Let me move this over for 1 second. Oh God, that looks much better, right? You can see this imbalance here with the gap, okay? And then we go all the way up into that bottom quadrant, and then they take out the candle 2. It's not what you want to see, obviously, if you're bearish, but also where's the high of the bearish imbalance? It's that high right there. This guy right here. Remember? So we already have this narrative going on, and that's still making structured lower. Now, on the 15-minute, for example, it's like, okay, well, it looks like it was just going to buy right through up, right? I get that. And it's hitting that 50%. Could you have took this buy right here? Yes, there's a bearish inversion here. I didn't draw it. Comes right up, right? You have to take the profit out. If you're aiming for that high and that high, you didn't get it, but you have to take out that, you have to squeeze it out. But if you are already married, or not married, if you were already, your bias was 100% already going to come with these equal lows here because of the fact that the trouble, obviously, equal lows here. So by the way, I dragged out the first imbalance of Friday. So that's another situation of why selling down into what the range that I said, which was Friday, of the week as well, 10 to 20%. The first imbalance is here. The liquidity, look where they built the liquidity on that imbalance, on that first imbalance. So I'm gonna drag it out, and we just look at how we come above it and below it, above and below it. All right, see this? See right here? And then we look at this right here, and right here. See it? Boom, especially right there. See that? Takes off from it. Okay, and then you have this quadrant, I know, and then coming right back into it. So now let me get into this here. Oh my God, I can't do this anymore. This is too much. This is way too much to do. Okay, comes back in, and then these last up candles, this last up candle, this is also a last up candle, 934. This is also a last up candle, 956. See how they're all respecting, everything's respecting these levels. So going back to this, I'm going to move this imbalance real quick. Just a little bit, okay? Okay, so you can see that, and then we have this 25% of this current gap here. So look at the bodies depleting on the 15-minute. Never can close above it anymore. That's a big sign too. So you're already getting that sign. Can you see that, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can see that. You can also see that on a 5-minute. Let me go to a 5-minute too on this chart. See the 5-minute? See how it reached in and it came back down? That's also indicative of weakness, right? And then here's that first imbalance that I'm drawing out. And then now no bodies in the upper half. They're in only the bottom quadrant. This is all details. All right, so you should, I hope you appreciate it that we're doing this, right? You learn from this because you're going to remember this stuff. Why? Because this is muscle memory, right? And then you can see, so we already broke structure here, and then we continue with the two lows. So really, this is the real lower low. So it broke through, and then it retraced back up. Look at all the failed highs: lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Right. So okay, that's indicative of selling. Right. We're not making higher lows here. Where we keep. If you bought this, it came back down. If you bought this, it came back down. So right there, it's like, okay, well, if you're buying, you're wrong, right? You should be going the other way. Number two, it's I mean, that's really it. I mean, with these lower highs. So anyways, that you can see we tagged the bottom 25% again with this. And then if you take a look at this imbalance, you can see that it's 50%. So you can see the 50% right there. We tag it right there. Too much confluence with all that, right? Here's an inversion here. I could draw it out. I'm not going to fucking do all that. And then lower low comes right back in. Hey, this is it by a hair here. And then the bodies are in this bottom quadrant here. So look at the, if I was to quad this, bearish imbalance, look at the bodies stopping at the bottom 25%. See that? Details. No, these bitches want to do it. I fucking knew it, dude. I just couldn't hold it any longer. And I was trying to, okay, I'll get into that in a second. So, okay, hits the 50 again. It's like, okay, are you going to fucking be an equal low here? Because, yeah, that's a breakout area and all this and that. But, again, the easy run here is most likely. And they need to slow it down for people. Everyone's hyping. You got people hyping. And they're winning. they're fucking winning. People made a shit ton of money in this run. So they're like, I got your ass again. And no, we got to stop you a little bit, buddy. And that's what this is, right? So, all right, another imbalance here. Pop in there. All right, beautiful. Breaks the 50%. Now, I mean, you already got a, what do you call it here? You don't want to see it here if you're buying, first of all. Then it comes with this again. All right, so now you break that low. All right, and this is a lower high. It's a fanning control price right here situation. All right, another low and lower high. Look to the left. Look to the left. All right, and they still didn't take out these guys right here. So because of that, when this pops back in, now that support you thought which was the 50% of the opening range, I mean of the new weak gap, it's used as resistance right there. Look at the 50%. It's literally the same level. All right, what do? As soon as they do that, ram it. Why? Because they know, these motherfuckers know they're coming for it and they're trying to rush for it. This shit printed instantly. Now it's like, you little bitches. So boom, comes right back. Where are we underneath? This is by the way, the midnight level and the blue-green all the way, this little line across. So we were also dancing around that today. So we shot through, snapped right back to the 25%. We dig underneath the midnight level. And then that's that breakaway imbalance stays empty. We're underneath the first imbalance of Friday. Don't forget. Still there, using it. Boom, underneath the 25. Rushes with these candles to what I've explained and then buying it here. Buying it here, as you see, I've already explained how I got an entry from in through that past candle. Immediately once it crosses over, my stop loss is here, and then it closes as a bullish candle. Beautiful. That's what I want to see. We come right back in. We come inside the gap and come right back out on purpose, and then they use this imbalance right here, as I'm drawing it example perfectly. Shoot through, bounce right there, pops in, comes up, squeezes as much as they can of these guys. Why? Because I say this all the time. You can see that this is selling. It's like, okay, if you didn't know it was going to sell from here, fine. Oh, what did I just do? I didn't mean to do that. All right. If you knew this area here, you don't know if it's selling. This right here, you know it's selling because it made a new low. If you didn't know there, let me say this again. If you didn't know there, you know here. You know it's selling. Because that's not a fucking higher low. That's not a higher low. That is a higher low. From that low. But you get what I'm saying? So, when you buy it, try to squeeze out a breakout area in a way, right? And the easy sellers, right? When they pop up here, I'm expecting for it to this is like you could buy the first higher low. I knew that I had the confluence with everything I mentioned, dude. Like, stop it. I had that with that, and I had this here that I talked about. 16th stretching, the 16th stretching to a 64th, right? And then it closed that way, so I know the trade's working. Look at these bitches now. I swear to God. And then notice how when we left that 16th, we come and look at the body sitting on that 32, coming back up, squeezing, no bodies anymore. Rush coming back in, look at just hold on, watch this, boom, watch this right there. Look at this candle right there, stretches all the way to the 32, and snaps back to the 32. Look at that. Look at this next candle where it opens, dude. This is not fucking buyers and sellers. Look at gaps on top of that 32, and then it shoots down, right? So I understand coming back to look at the 16th right here. We squeeze in. Look at the 16th. Look at the body sitting right there. Look how it comes right back to this on this rollover. Look. What's this? The red one is the 50% of that big range that I showed you. Look at that. Look at that. That's 50%. That's what I was saying in the video. When I was trying to sell from up here, I wanted to come to 50%. Why? Because we also had that right there. But we didn't get that. But they just gapped to it. But look at the 50%. So look. So when it retraced, I wasn't worried about it because I knew we were gonna make a higher low here. They did that, and they did it on that fucking level. And then you could see us fucking moseying up. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to explain this any more than that, man. You're like, dude, which one is it? You got so many different levels. I know it is challenging, but when I see the confluence of these specific areas, this is when I really need to act. You know what I'm saying? So, and pay attention to those, right? Because those are high probability areas for me. As you can see, we popped up and then we retraced back in. So 1, 2, 3 drives, a failed one. Yes, that first drive has 3 lows. Yes, that second drive has 2 lows. Yes, that fucking third drive has 2 lows. Yes, that's why they do that, because they know you're trying to buy this shit, right? And then the bodies, look at the bodies stopping right there. Beautiful, right? So, I could have drawn a line right here for an order block, and I did not. And then now we have the 25% here. We're also bouncing on that right there. Bink. And then the midnight level. We're playing around the midnight level, playing around that first imbalance of Friday. And then boom, what a coincidence. Once we make a new high and we bounce back, oh, it's a higher low. I have that drawn. Yeah, but I have that drawn. Yeah, I have everything I've been telling you about. And why am I holding it up to here? Because I know we're going to get this guy right there. See that guy right there? See that guy right there? Now, I also want to hold it, obviously, for a new high, but I did not. I'm not going to. And then also, I also want to hold it back to this level because that was the all-time high. So if it comes underneath it, people are selling. If we're going above it, people are buying it. Notice how we come below it here. So I want to come right to it. We didn't hit it yet, but did we just hit it now? Oh, you don't say. We're going to hit it in this video, ain't it? We probably will. This is all specifics. What am I doing? Okay. Anyways, let me go back to, oh boy. So, and then that first imbalance, boom, ticks to the 50% of the new week gap. Play around there a little bit, and then we pushed up. Okay, all right. I think I've said enough here. And VIX was playing games a little bit. They had this gap here, so if we were going to push down into that, we would be pushing up. But they decided to push up first. So VIX is showing me, okay, we're on an oversold here. This is a 5-minute. We're going to on an oversold here, and we can get up to an overbought. If that's the case, while we're pushing up with VIX, then that means we are selling down. We did that, and we came up here. We hit an overbought, and this is when I also buy right there. Right, that tick that motherfucking bottom candle. And then guess what? VIX comes down while we were going up. So I expect it to still come inside this gap while we come up above for new highs. I'm not going to make it any difficult than that. Also, dollar is moseying its way down still. And it's going to be really fucking interesting what we do from here, bro. I don't know. This dollar, man. I don't know, man. I mean, once you lose this, if you lose this candle right here as an inversion, that's back to being a bearish. It's bearish right now, but it has all right to do this. So, I'm neutral bullish for indices. And I'm neutral bearish for dollar. Moving forward here. Also, the fire here, you have higher highs here with S&P. So that, well, I mean, you had a high here too, but this was pretty much really higher. And then if you didn't want to count, I mean, whatever. But this is the point here in between the two more important assets. Higher high here and lower highs here, right? So beautiful for us selling down, and then harder for S&P. And then that brought us down. Once it brought us down, we had a lower lows here with NAS. We had higher lows with S&P and Dow, and that's why I bought it as well. Look at that. Look at that beautiful fucking hammer. And then we pop up, man. And then we're just sitting here. So there's that. And then, they put a bodies on the 4-hour here. This is a 4-hour, right? Yeah. With YM. And then they squeezed up more. Look at that shit, bro. Well, obviously they did that with Friday. And then they squeezed up, dude. Right back to the fucking breakout area, bro. Like, wow. That's beautiful. Also the overbought, yeah. They're still ramming it. They're being really hoish. And then you can see the daily. We're finally knocking on the daily there. So that sell-off that I'm talking about that should be happening in May. I still expect to see this. Again, I don't know how deep. I'm not saying it's going to happen now even. But right now, between the 10th and, today's April 20th. So between the 20th and the 30th, the 5-year is still pushing up. Where's my mouse? Yeah. So it's still pushing up. That's why I was still buying here. This is supposed to happen after like the 5th of May, 3rd of May or whatever. Then you start to see all assets pull back. Okay? So I'm buying. So the 15-year is still buying. And now the 30-year is buying at this point too in the last 10 days. But the 5-year, the 5-year is selling off right now and going sideways. So it's a little tricky, but I'm gonna play with the 15-year and assume that, because what I'm drawing here is the 15-year. So I'm just expecting that, that higher low. I just don't see how they can come all the way up here and not hit the 27,000 big figure. I mean, in general, and that's probably and that's the exact reason why they fucking pulled that shit back today. With the gap, and B with pulling it back, because they know you coming up to that 27,000, bro. Like, how you gonna? You didn't fucking spend 6-7 months, however long it was, and not, it just doesn't make any sense. So delayed gratification, time distortion, all that happening in this picture. And that's pretty beautiful. Here, pump dump here, pump dump sideways, pretty much shakeout for Dow, and then S&P similar, pushed up here, dropped and pushed up, and then just closing above as a bullish candle. And then you can see here, this was more of a pump dump. So you had some drives up and then selling back down. Not as pretty. And there's that. I can't go into the rest, dude. That's just way too much to talk about. But with us here, nice lower highs there for a sell. Coming for the equal lows there, and then ultimately you can see those guys right there too. All right, and then as you can see on the 15-minute, even though on the 1 minute they did offer a price action here, when this candle pushes up like this, it only offers a bullish candle. So coming back into it, it makes sense. And then again, if you this is a rejection wick, so if you look at this 50% level, I'm just going to eyeball it. Look to the right. It's perfect, damn near, right? So mean reversion, speaker up, speaker down, and then coming back into the middle here, and we're pretty much sitting there. And then again, don't know what we're going to do, man. I'm going to just keep it simple with us buying. Again, 15 years still push. Everything I just draw is still the same. I'm not going to have to draw anything new. So the 15 year still pushes up here. And then in the beginning of the 15 year and the 5 year and even the 30 year, we get a little drop back, which is what this might have been here, by the way. So that's what I'm expecting that to be. If it's going to continue, you're going to see this make a new high. And that's kind of where I'm at here. I don't really need to draw anything else. And then NVIDIA gapped down and then closed above. And then they all did it at the, later in the PM session here. Obviously, you know what they're going. They're going for this high here. And then ultimately, we have a inefficiency that I've talked about. All right, so there's that. And I don't think there's anything else I could need to say. Again, I don't want to just constantly show trades. And I'm going to be taking a vacation soon, so I'm going to be dialing back. But this stuff is just too far not to do it. And then you also have this -2 here. I measured just the bodies here. And then you can see the -2s over here. Oh, we're right by our buddy, the big figure. And then if you take a look at my buddies here, let me go to a 1 hour here. And then you can see that next quadrant popping up here. After this grid, you have the 16th. It's not drawn. And then you have this 25% quadrant up here. And then it's about 3.5 points away from the big figure, 27,000. Oh, is that maybe a coincidence? I don't think so. And then, by the way, on the hourly, we kept popping up, and I wasn't really paying attention too much. But it's like, okay, well, dude, you're at the 50% again here, and it's like, oh, we're gonna push up. No, we're gonna pull back. So, are we in a pullback to still happen? Right here. Are we in a pullback to then push back up? This does not look good. I am not enticed to sell to trade this right now. I really not. I don't feel comfortable even wanting to trade this with the way the price action is if it doesn't make a new high. If it doesn't and it pulls back again, then I understand it wants to probably take out some more liquidity. And then I was just gonna forget too, dude. I knew it. So I drew these daily imbalances here. And also, we when we gap down, we literally sealed it automatically, which can be an exceeding sign of bullish, but we didn't get a follow through with a new high. So if it wants to dip down, we have this imbalance here. I have drawn little one, then I have the one below that, and then you can say, okay, well, guys, yeah, this was a breakout area right here. See this little swing right here? Yeah, this February 3rd. And even this guy too, and then the imbalance. So you have a low imbalance and breakout area to the left, which is on the daily time frame. See, that's so if it wants to pull back quickly and swing into here, that would make sense, getting back into that previous week's range. I'm just going to leave this to the side a little bit. I'm not really using it too much, but I mean, to me, again, I would prefer just a new high. You want to keep it fucking simple. You want to expand through, like, bruh, you ain't gonna be all tough like this, and then you're gonna want to. Okay, Okay, buddy. But that's why it's not fun here. It's not really that fun of a place to be, a fun place to be in my book. But you see this -1.5. So we're popping up here. I would have preferred to see them come up here first, then dip in here. We'll see what they do, but this -5 is coupled with this gap right here. So I don't know. This is the first imbalance of Thursday. That's not important. Just talking out loud here. Here's last Wednesday's right here. Let me see. Is there anything else I need to? I can't, dude. I can't make them. I can't keep making them long like this. Fuck. Average daily range was 32 points, and from this low, which is 535, this high, which is 838, just to say 830. So let's just say 300 points only. That's why I dipped out here, because I'm like, man, we're not going to make a new high today. So they have a small range day. It's a transition day. Had a feeling they would fucking do this on Monday before I even started trading. But it's cool. It's all good, man. If it's not buying, it's selling. If it's not selling, it's buying. Use your tools. Mark your chart. Notice how the selling has all bearish imbalances here. Yeah, I can draw inversions, but that's the point. Look on the buying side. They all have bullish imbalances, right? That's how you know it's buying. All right, use that with higher time frames, and you'll be able to see order flow pretty well, right? Am I missing something? I'm not gonna pull other trade. I gotta go, man. I gotta go. Look at the body sitting on that 25% right there. Beautiful, man. Look at this shit, dude. I swear, bro. I don't know. This candle right here is just not fun for bulls. I just don't like the way this candle looks. Again, also because there's no liquidity here and they've already took it, they have to create lower highs here to then go up. So I'm just gonna keep it simple and say that, especially with the seasonal data and all that. So I don't know what else to say. You guys take care. God bless.